but they didn't choose to play it through here. Inferno pick from OG. Fairly solid map for them. Seem to be picking it in a lot of their games, at least with this lineup. So that's kind of a comfort move. NiP go for Mirage. We saw that yesterday. Seems pretty decent. And the same for Ancient, where decent home ground for them. So I think all in all, I actually think NiP are really happy with this Vita. I think they'll look at this and say, even though our opponent's map pick, it's definitely a place where we can do some damage.
Yes, absolutely. But we are into the action. Of course, the classic, as soon as I bring it up, the players are ready to go. Nonetheless, apologies for the delays getting into things. Only a few minutes, not too long, but I don't mind too much. It allows us to have a bit of a chat, flex the muscles, and, you know, go podcast mode for when we get those calls.
Can't possibly be longer than yesterday's NiP game, okay?
That's also true.
Happen.
Yeah. This guy is ready for the long games, and we had like a tech pause for about half an hour, and I think we were still done before you guys finished your day as well. In towards Banana, 5 players for the T side. NiP look very, very ready over here on the defense. It's a great deal of utility over from OG though, just going in for a very conventional B execute, looking pretty comfortable here. Flashes come over the top. Response flashes from that CT side. Not quite good enough. Second one's decent, but head trick. He took his time on the peak, and maybe there's some wisdom to that. Finds himself a 2-piece, gets them back into the round as that bomb goes down. Hampus tries for a spam. The retake is definitely on here, Alan.
Config just praying for a duel, but it's not here for the moment. They've already burned the flashes. There's no kit here for this CT side, so they're going to have to pump that gas pedal and get in. Nexa has no idea. Nobody's looking towards ruins. Nexa turns around just in time. That could have got real frisky. And now that one avenue's been cut off, all these players can just focus together. And Config's got a little bit too much to ask, I think. No kit. These are just constellation frags. And I think he kind of called it during the cast. I mean, they had that flash ready to go, but the flashes didn't come off before the player pillar. He was already dead, the guy pillar, before he could take a good fight.
Yeah, problematic. Maybe just a little too slow. More reactive than proactive. That's kind of what we say. They had to find some decent timing. Once the smoke started coming over, the Molotov then follows up. But it's kind of hard in a pistol to read that, I suppose, because there is sort of a delay in your mind of like, okay, is this just smokes or are they full pistol executing? Have they invested in loads of utility? You never fully know how much utility is about to come over the top. So there is a bit of guesswork involved there, I suppose, but yeah, it definitely makes a difference. Config, hidden away in the corner, could be our linchpin player. He's waiting for someone to jump up. He's not just staring out the window. Does look like a funny little angle, but nothing going to come his way. It's more of a B lean at the moment.
Ollie forces Hedrick off. Config's going to stick around and he's going to fight. Oh, that is brutal. Have to feel for Config there. But that's just what the doctor ordered for OG. Bit of space in apartments. They've got so much utility. And as long as they avoid these NiP smokes, it shouldn't be so bad getting onto a bomb site.
Well, that's what you'd say. Hedrick goes hunting. Maybe an opportunity for him to catch something. He's a little too slow out of the apartment. He's just heard Keto's step. Takes him out. Takes some damage in the meantime. However, yeah, this push round from long is super effective. The A-bomb site is just very, very vulnerable. Bit of a mad play through the smoke, of course. Doesn't work out, and it will just be a save here from NiP.
Fairly clean stuff. Kind of cascaded. Keto gets the jumping kind of entry onto Config as he comes onto the balcony. So not a whole lot of resistance in these first few rounds for NiP, and well, I guess they're doing the right thing. Holding on to what they do have. Thinking about trying to do a bit more economic damage in the next, and yeah, I think if I'm on OG, I'm pretty kind of happy with how this one has started. If OG is going to win this series, which players are going to be responsible for that?
Very much questions. I feel like it probably has to be Regali here. I also think that in terms of a one-on-one face, like a head-to-head, I think that Regali and Headtrick is probably one of the closer battles.
It's probably Regali, you know. It's probably
yeah, exactly,
Regali.
exactly. Like as compared to like a config and a Fiku, like, you know, I don't think that there's much in that, for example. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Keto as well. These are always sort of the types of games where his reliability can really come off. But yeah, I think it is kind of cliche to say, but the AWPing battle does feel like the one that OG might have a bit of a leg up on.
I'm going to keep an eye on kind of the calling for OG, because I think if you're going to kind of talk win conditions in this series, we like the veto for NiP. That's already a good start. We definitely feel that they have probably an individual advantage, probably let's say a fundamentals team play advantage. You're running out of avenues for OG to win this game, at least painting it like that. So maybe nexa calling a fantastic series, having great leads, putting his team in endless good positions. Maybe that is the best chance they've got here, is nexa just pull a fast one.
Yeah, perhaps. But again, it's one of those weird situations where it's like a game that the OG players, especially nexa, will perhaps feel a bit more comfortable in, just because it's a team that they have played off against a fair amount, players that they recognize, versus yesterday's Bet Boom. It's a bit harder for them to read into. There's a lot of newer names there for OG to deal with. So we'll see. There could indeed be some solid calling out from this one. So far, so good. While we've been chatting away, they've got that bomb down on the A-bomb site. Few kills in from NiP. Config. I was looking for some cash. Not going to happen. Headtrick, though. He'll take that Galil through. He'll probably drop it across to someone so he can purchase up an AWP. But it's a saving of cash in a sense.
Yeah. The good news for the only real silver lining for NiP is that OG's money isn't out of control. And they'll probably... I guess they'll retain these SMGs into this round. We'll see what they choose to go for. A couple still going. But now, getting towards the business end. Something exciting. The guns are out. Headtrick does have an AWP. See where he chooses to play number uno. Where are you heading? Looks like an A start for Mr. Headtrick. It's on the short side at the moment. A discussion we had yesterday was... I think it was probably more so in the one-win matchup. But actually, it was true as well, probably with Hades, is in both the games yesterday, it did feel like the opposing AWPer against Headtrick was the more mobile player, was presenting more different looks and different openings. And I think you do have to question with the sort of lineup NiP has and experience some of these players, how easy is it for someone like Headtrick to come in and command himself and say, I want to, I want to do this, telling config, I want to play here this round, you need to move.
It is very interesting because I think he may well have been a little early to pull him in from the academy system. Munisi, I would also say on like a macro sense and that kind of sense, also might have been early, but then Munisi can lean on his micro so heavily that it doesn't matter so much. But there are a few things in there, you know, people talk about shooting while flashing and all this, you know, that's kind of a macro type thing. So I think it definitely is curious, like some of these younger players, some of the academy style players, and yeah, just fitting themselves onto the team can be a real challenge. Nothing coming off as yet, Alan.
They've got no flashes, brother. They've got no flashes.
Oh, yeah.
Going in dry.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be an awkward one. They have wasted an awful lot. 20 seconds left in the round, and they will just contact straight in. Brollan was up on the boost, but completely expected. There was an opportunity for Rez with flashes round from himself. It doesn't come off, though. And with us being on Inferno here, 5 versus 3, yes, rotations might be in a decent enough spot, but there will indeed be a save on the way.
Bizarre. Was it Brollan on top of triple?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. I almost wonder if that spot's really good because you don't get flashed, and then players run in on the flashes, and you don't get blind, and you just shoot them down. I almost wonder if the lack of flashes meant that the first man in could like hard clear it. It certainly didn't go very well for NiP. This is getting a little bit scary. Granted, that's the first gun round, but set to have a lot of players alive here for OG, and the economy is going to be a little bit softer on the T side. They're looking great so far.
Really impressed. I think they may well...
Pico hasn't seen anybody. He's got 0 ADR.
Yeah. They may well have had like a wake-up call yesterday after their results. Bit more time to prep, get up early in the morning, fellas. You know, all that good stuff. But yeah, I think that this is a decent enough kind of team to take on, right? NiP are a bit more predictable. BetBoom were just playing like this absolutely relentless style of almost silly Counter-Strike, but we're just getting away with it, right? And that can be hard if you're not expecting it. So I can understand where the game's going. And they've got some great individuals as well, to be fair. But yeah, this game against NiP feels much more readable, especially when you kick off on an Inferno.
You know, like the flash really hit the defender there in head trick. Nice shot. He's going to stick around on B. NiP back to a more standard stance on A. Brollan looking down in case a flash comes through. Not to be the case. Establishing a bit of a crossfire. Config's in pit. And Config goes immediately down to Regali. That's a incredibly important entry. These B players are a long way off. If OG wanted to commit behind this, Moto Smoke is down. Might be a little bit of a gap on the left. And they are going to go in. Flash is ready. Keto flashing behind default. These are behind Brollan. Molly is so annoying onto hampus. And look at that execute. Brilliant from OG.
Yeah, really solid. Again, going to force a save out from the boys in blue. There's absolutely no chance. A lot of these rounds here have been clean as well. You know, there is winning them, but there is also just the fact that they have written off any kind of opportunity for TT side to get in. So really is looking good. Really is looking impressive so far. I think we're very happy with what we're seeing. And you know, it's not a complete surprise, but in a sense may well be unexpected to see such an effective OG straight out of the gate.
They're looking great. Looking brilliant. And, of course, I think on this round, Regali is the hero. They were man down off the back of losing the first kill over to Banana. And Regali just walks up short, kills Config in pit. And it's not just evening up the numbers. You've suddenly massively weakened A. You've ruined the crossfire between site and pit. So suddenly the site guys are having a much tougher time as everybody is swinging short, looking in their direction. The flashes don't help either. That molly was perfectly placed on hampus. So whoever made that read and decided to do a mid-site molly over something else knows what they're doing. In fact, even the kill on pit might have alerted them to not bother mollying pit, so why not put it on site? Really, kind of, Regali's kill is a massive domino to get that cascade going.
Love to see it so far. NiP going to try and battle back here, taking some time to talk things over. And it will be on for a clean buy. So there's no excuses there, but it has to be a way finding a really effective move in. I think that there is, you know, again, a good number of issues, even just on heads-up fights. There's been some great executes here from OG. We also saw that one where, you know, you mentioned they had very little in the way of flashes, if any at all, and they just went in dry. That's tedious, that's annoying. I think they are really displaying some effective variety here, some great creativity, and again, it does feel like the calling is in a really good spot right now. Nexa just commanding the troops incredibly effectively, as we know that he can do, being known as a really great mid-rounder for many years now.
We've seen a similar story, actually, on all of the 3 important rounds, the 2 gun rounds and the pistol. Kind of OG, they get their map control, then they go into the execute. The execute is pretty well ran, and NiP just can't hold the site when push comes to shove. Seen it 3 times now. So I wonder when they're going to change the game, get more aggressive. Of course, last time they had an entry, but it wasn't enough. And this time it's gone the other way. Brollan doing his best to get information, and it costs him his life. Oh, this is not looking good. These nades aren't great either for NiP. And with a man to the lesser, they've got to take some sort of risk, haven't they? Stack his site, get some information. And it looks like the B stack is on.
May well be the play here, sir. unfortunately, it would be, as we know it, the wrong play. More push to come out from the apartments. The burst with 20 seconds left could still be a bit risky. Config's in a decent spot to cut a couple players off, but they feel quite happy with the control that they've got out of balcony. No need to give the brackets boys any chance into this round. And again, really well played and very, very good discipline coming out from OG. There's nothing fancy to it, unfortunately. Another save to come in, so only the 1 kill occurs in this round, but OG are again just on a reading masterclass right now.
Can do no wrong. These NiP are just going to feel like we're not even in these rounds. We're playing out our kind of standard setups. Brollan goes for not necessarily a massively overzealous play. He just flashes in from top banana. Regali just kills him. And from there, they take their risk. They stack B. It's not the right read, as we can obviously see, but at least they can save into the next and have another buy. Brollan, Config, Rez, and hampus 2 kills. 6 rounds. That is obviously an outlier, but it's equally not sustainable. I'm surprised they're not pausing more, you know, because this is OG have so much money. They're going to buy so many rounds. You don't have to lose many more in this fashion from NiP before this entire map is just becomes, you know, an almost insurmountable uphill battle.
All happening so fast, isn't it, really? I think maybe they just feel because they have so many consistent buys because of saving. And then it's also a bit weird. There's a few rounds in here that they're just not really getting a chance into. They'll lose like 1 kill, they'll get out red, and then they have to deal with that. So it's a challenge to know what's going wrong from NiP. I like the idea in this round, though. They get aggressive, right? They change it up in that sense. And again, nothing too flashy, but they will be the ones coming away with opening frags.
Much needed. They had to do something, and 3-man start on banana. Nice aggressive take. Molly's flush players out. Regali is looking for names. Once again, can't connect on this occasion. There goes the Molly from Rez to buy a bit more time. But actually, for the moment, I guess because Rez have nades, they're not actually leaning a second player onto B. Hampus starting to sprint over now, as it looks like OG are going to commit this way. Lots of utility for them. But defense looking bolstered now that Hampus has made his way over.
Another execute's coming on towards the site itself, but there's nobody there. So it's all one fat waste of utility at this point. They're going to work their way in. They've got to be ready for this player up on the boost, man. They're just not. Hampus for 2. Brilliantly tracked on that second player. Not a chance here for Regali. He's in the mixer, so he has no choice but to take the fights. And there we have it. Takes them some time. NiP will get on the board. A lot more work to be done before they pick up the lead, before they break the bank. But it's good to see they know how to win rounds.
Just looking more proactive, frankly, weren't they? On that round, which is nice to see. I don't think they're going to get away with the same banana take again, so they might have to switch it up somewhat. It will be another free B start for NiP. We'll see if they do intend on something reasonably similar. Deep nades going down on towards banana at the moment. Rez lining up his flashbang. Help his teammates. And Brollan goes straight through the molly. Brollan runs through the molly. At the same time, Config is straight up out-dueled here in apartments. Well, they wanted to take some fights. They wanted to contest some space, but it hasn't worked whatsoever. And this round is the dictionary definition of a catastrophe.
Yeah, not good at all. It's a great switch up from OG as well, right? You've got rounds to play with. There's no pressure on you. Just put yourself in a position where you can burst out, go fast. See if they are indeed attentive, and it is a classic, isn't it, right? We've all done it. When you lose a round, you just go straight in for a rush. Obviously, going to be a lot more calculated at this level of the game, but the same sort of logic of let's see how they respond definitely does apply, and it's worked brilliantly to kick things off once again. So Nothing but praise at the moment for OG. They'll drop the 1 round. No one's really going to notice as soon as they get back on the board. It writes off that lost round ever so slightly.
Yeah, we didn't catch how Config died, but Brollan ran through a molly by car the wood these days on top banana. Just got sprayed, and even if he didn't catch any bullets, I don't think he would have had a lot of HP remaining by virtue of the flames. So, I don't know. NiP trying to force the issue too hard themselves. Potentially that's a factor here. Here comes the timeout. Second in for NiP is they need to have a discussion. But it's tricky, man, because it's so hard in this position to know what to fix, because it just feels like every round is a slightly different problem. Minus the one they won, of course. But you know, they've had man advantages. They couldn't convert. They've tried to save nades for executes, and they can't hold the sites. They tried to get aggressive, take map control. Did work the 1 round on banana, but we saw the last. Didn't go so well either. So I don't envy being one of the leaders in this team.
Becoming a difficult challenge already, and we're not even all that deep in there, my brother. There's only a few rounds gone at this point. Banana aggression from OG. Will eat a little nade. There's no presence really from the side of NiP. They're just giving that control up. It's 3 banana, so I don't think that OG will want to dedicate too hard, but all the same, NiP frightened ever so slightly.
Slightly cool his retake sets on B. Keeping 3 players there for now. Porch setup from the remaining defenders. And this could spell real trouble. Especially if a molly lands behind Config. Hedrick to get his off just in time. They're going to commit in front of it. Hedrick gets 1, but Config is a dead man immediately. Players wrapping long. And Hedrick's in for a world of pain. There's so many players around him. This motor smoke is good, but I think players are going to commit through. Here they come. Nexa way ahead of his teammates. And Hedrick get anything more out of this. Makes it 2. Finally traded. Bomb is a little bit out in the open. And that molly is making things ever so good. Look how many nades are on the bomb site. This is a mess.
Absolutely wild out there, man. It is fire everywhere all over your minimap. Great read from Keto on the player going for the flank. Will he be ready for this boost up, though? Is the question. Res. Oh, spotted and finished off. It's into the 1 versus 1 for Regali, and he gets it done. OG playing a hell of a game right now. So confident, so effective, and they just can't stop winning.
Felt like Hedrick might have done enough. Bought so much time, made it ever so awkward. But OG, they make the right read. NiP have played a lot of free B rounds. And OG read them. Fast A hit, exploding out of mid. Yes, they went for a Molotov, but they knew they had a gap. They knew they might have a window. And they capitalized upon that. So, you know, as I brought up earlier, nexa could be a factor in this game, and we'll give him a lot of credit for making that call, I think.
Bit slower here from OG in terms of the presence. Way far back. I think they may be expecting a move from NiP. It was a common response from NiP in some of the earlier rounds when they'd lost a few, when they got stuck, they would push for the aggression, really try and brute force an opening kill or 2, and it actually did net them a round. So OG taking it back, winding the clock down. Perhaps will look for a late round execute. They were looking for a pick there, and Regali lands his shot, just does not come off for a frag.
Yeah, I think Rez, lucky boy, isn't he? Licking his wounds a tad. Could have easily been a kill for Regali. He hasn't missed much in this half so far. As the round develops, it's going to be leaving this man, Mr. Keto, in the apartments. They were grouping up towards B, but actually choosing to reroute. A is going to be the target instead. Got a bit of utility on Config, which could go front side, I guess, if they choose to execute. So there it goes. Let's see if they can defend this time.
Should by now be quite ready for a hit like this. Nade does decent damage. Oh my goodness, and like the way they are set up here is just so deadly. hampus for the first. Surely they don't expect config. He does get traded quite quickly, but there's still head trick at the back of the site, and there's no time with that bomb drop. We just did not have time to get the bomb down. OG not giving themselves enough space to work with. An absolute mess, to be fair, after such a clean showing so far from OG. That is a rare blunder.
That smoke from config was just so annoying. Cuts off on site. They were running out of time. Is that... Oh, he's got a bison. What's going on? But anyway, they're running out of time, and config could spray the plant if they wanted to plant in the regular default spot. The safe plant on the pit side. So they couldn't really plant anywhere, and time was ever so low. Kind of 7, 8, 9 seconds as they were rounding behind default, trying to kill the players on site. So, bit of credit to config, but certainly agree that whilst we like the change of pace for OG to drop it a little bit, maybe they just went a tad too slow for their own good.
Shortly back into the action here as NiP will once again be looking to get some regularity in their rounds, right? It has been something that is a real struggle in the past few. They've been unable to string them together so far. Just 2 sporadic rounds, hoping this will be somewhat of a difference. It is again OG going in for a burst round after losing. Last time it was on A, this time it's on B. Nothing comes off, so they will have to back off. But at the very least, they have, you know, put the fear of God into NiP.
Pace is nice as well. Just getting some nades out of these guys. Getting nearer. You know, to be in a position where they actually have potential to hit a site. Never saw that really last round, so certainly enjoy the slightly faster ebb and flow of this default. This line up from hampus is... Got off a few shots, but takes quite a few for his trouble, despite having the silencer. And look at NiP. They're just going to leave Brollan. Playing sandbags. He's got a nade to his name. This is trust and then some.
This could get messy. Brollan on high. Good for 1. And a second. Fantastic stuff. The nade goes out. Might do some damage, but the bullets are all he needs. And now some support on the way to back up their man. There will be some trades back, but surely enough has been done here. We'll see. Keto quickly in towards the site. Not ready for res. That was maybe their only window of opportunity. It's now just Regali. He's been hurt. He's been spotted. They should deal with him. They will indeed. And NiP for 2 in a row. Here we go. The gap starts to close.
Couldn't actually find the AWP there, and they can't afford it. Bit of a shame for head trick. Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, Brollan was on an island. They put an immense amount of trust in that young man. And what a sequence. The first guy in, I think it was Fiku, clearly had no idea a player would have the audacity to play behind the sandbags or on top of the sandbags. He goes down immediately. No chance of an instant trade. So maybe space could have been better from OG, but lion's share of credit has got to go to Brollan. And in a match where some of the star names have yet to truly arrive, that's what we want to see more of. More rounds like that from Brollan. Something like this from Rez. Get up in the face and show off that star power.
Yeah, that definitely is what we need, right? This is a kid that, you know, 4 or 5 years ago was really hotly contested. And again, has performed relatively well at the top level, but just has not hit that ceiling that maybe we expected him to hit. And perhaps there are some mental blockers in place that have caused that. Maybe the NiP team can be the place for him to pop off. Maybe it could be IEM Sydney. Maybe it could. We'll find out, I suppose. But a great round in the previous, and he will absolutely be looking to replicate that moving forward. Only on the FAMAS here, but he is once again getting confident, playing cheeky. Cost him this time around, though. Not going to work out. Hedrick him for 1 trade, but definitely needed more from that position. There's still a player at the back end of the B bomb site to deal with. A nice start in 4. That T side.
But on flank's really early. Check out hampus. He really needs to win this duel, and he doesn't. And he doesn't. It might actually be a save here. His config backs off. Rez doing the same. Yeah, they really need to win that banana engagement, and I actually thought the timing looked pretty good, but not to be. And OG, they might stumble a little bit at times, but overall, this T side has just been, supreme. They look excellent.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. It is really cool to see. As I said, after what I caught yesterday, it wasn't that great, and so far they've only beat one of the mixier teams, let's say, not to take away from them, but certainly not a team that we expected to put up too much in the qualifier. So we will indeed see if OG can keep this up, if they can keep this up. So far, so good. And yeah, continuing to really keep NiP at a nice, healthy length. They're very unlikely to bring this close if they just can't get their claws in, which so far has not really been the case, right? Still just sporadic rounds for my money.
And they're back on the eco. Can never count a team out of this sort of round, but we're going to need some magic that NiP were once famed for. Not with some of these players, but the same org. So OG just keep plugging away. For me, they've shown a good variety of rounds. They clearly have some fast plays. They probably favour the defaults more than anything, which I guess isn't a massive surprise on a map like Inferno. But their macros look good. They've always made sound decisions from what I've seen. Maybe they had the one round where they were a bit slow, but outside of that, not a whole lot has really gone wrong. They've rarely gone into stacks. Haven't got caught behind Nazo so often, so got to commend the calling and the team play so far on OG.
Very true. However, this little move here on the B-bomb site could be deadly on top of each other. Brollan going to get the smoke out, but of course, Rez can still see above that. They get a bit cheeky. Oh, may well go down. FASHR was quite ready for that fight, but he does end up falling. Brollan also not able to get anything done. So looking very, very good here as hampus also falls, trying to be the next man in through that smoke. Nothing coming off. Config down in the head instantly through the smoke. You know, they just can't win right now on the NiP side of things. Not expecting too much out of this round, but, you know, there are some really unfortunate kills that have just come off there.
Yeah. Sort of just throwing bodies at the problem in the end, weren't they? Coming through the smokes, trying to take a fight. And simple CS from OG just going to execute B, and I think teams these days are much less scared of that regular banana smoke, the regular B smoke. Spray around, you can come through it. Decent flashes grouped together, it's very hard to actually make good on it, and well, it would have just been some armor saved, but for the AWPer it would have been nice. Rez can still drop an AWP over. There it goes. But at what point do NiP just have to get some rounds? 5, I guess, is obviously the goal from here, but any less, and on a map as even as Inferno, especially when OG are picking into it, I mean, NiP need every single round they can get at the moment.
Pretty much, right? Pretty much. It is just a case of recovery at the tail end of the TARF, and it's an easier said than done type deal. It's not necessarily come down to the buys for me. I think they've had plenty of decent buys, just could not pull them off. So something has to change here. They've opted not to go for the aggression. That was something that they were very, very into in the early stages of this half as a bit of a response to losing so many rounds. But here they are just resting as much as they can. Headtrick is on a dig. Not going to be able to spot anything, but I do love this angle with the way that they are set up on that OG side. This could be big. Regali, not ready for it at all. Nice opening pickup, and FASHR, yeah, difficult spot for him to go for the trade, isn't it?
I think a lot of players would, but chooses not to. Keto lurks himself up to the end of apartments, just praying as the smoke phase is going to net himself an over-facing CT player. But hampus from the ROP spot comes good. Player down in mid. Config is going to push. I'm not sure he needed to, but he gets the kill. So I guess it was worth it. What on earth?
Well,
what on earth?
These guys are breaking all the rules of convention right now. Just nexa, and he can't get anything done against 2 players at once, that's for damn sure. 4th round for NiP, so just within one of that comfortable scoreline, I suppose.
That kill from Rez was unreasonable.
What a mental moment. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there, to be fair, man.
I guess you never know. It may be in-game. It's a little bit harder to see around that smoke, but at least with our X-ray, it did look a little bit odd. I guess we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. OG then. Fighting for 11. They choose to go for. Top banana nades for them. And then IP do the middle banana set. And Rogali is going to start scaling mid. Headtrick is here this round. Played a lot of B. This time, set up on mid. He's ready and waiting.
Is indeed, sir. Or Headrick with a well-timed Molotov here. Forces them back, but definitely forced them to make a move. Whether forwards or backwards, they opted to move away. Minute and 10 left on the clock. OG look like they want to take things a little faster in this round, but still tentative.
They've used a lot of nades. 1 smoke left, and of course you'd like this smoke to take brackets control, or maybe do a B split smoke in the library area. Hampus is going to swing. Why is Hampus swung? His teammates have banana. Where did you think they were going to be?
Guy. An oversight from the brains of the operation. May well have cost them in a big way here. We'll see how it pans out. Rez going to take some damage as well, I think, through the edge of the wall there from the AWP. Burst out. It's a little nasty to look at. Config's in the perfect spot to deal with it. Wasn't flashed. 4 on 2. Big recovery required. And so far, 2 on 2. We've only got 10 seconds to work with. Down goes Nexa. And the bomb is just on the deck here. Really going to be awkward. Headtrick to find the final frag of the first half. 10-5. It's a little recovery from NiP. It's still not the best, but it is something to work with. We'll see how the game pans out into half 2. Yo, welcome back. What up? We are here ready to go for our second half. Very much looking forward to getting into this one, of course, as there has been a great deal of beautiful moments, I think, from OG. We'll now see with a switch up whether NiP can bring out a clean T side of their own. Definitely seems like a good idea to me, I think. They're in the same camp as you, sir, that this one is incredibly important. Utility over the top. Oh, it's Brollan to burst out ahead of Nades to find that first frag. Meanwhile, the push comes in towards Banana. They have to make a move on the OG side, effectively so. Ooh, and the read is here from OG. They may well have had a player that has heard all these footsteps out towards the CT area, so they're very ready for the wrap to come in. Whether they can deal with it or not is obviously another question. They're also unsure of how many there are. It does get a bit weird out here. Brollan going to go down on the other side of things. Meanwhile, they are fully bolstered in towards the site itself, but they're getting backstabbed. Fiku going to drop the bomb. There's only 15 seconds to get that bomb back. So a lot of effort going to be required to do that. Fiku finds another head, all on res, with 10 seconds to find kills, and the bomb drop is just not happening, folks. I don't know how else to tell you. Down he will go, and OG secure number 11. Yeah, definitely looking that way at this stage of the game. But we'll see. We'll see. There's always time. There's always a way in the great game of Counter-Strike. In this round, not really expecting there to be a way. I don't think it's too controversial to say, but if they find some damage, they'll be satisfied. At the moment, though, just really, winding the clock down. That nade is massive. Love to see those red bars coming in when no one's got any armor, because often HE grenades, they let you down ever so slightly. So that was a fun one, and now NiP, I think, are even more stuck for ideas. All right, here we go. This is what we're looking towards then. Big round, big moment for NiP in particular to stay alive on the first map, which, again, it is worth noting here that Mirage comes up next. Very comfortable for NiP, but if they're getting ruined on the first map, it's certainly not a good look. And OG, as you would expect with a map like Mirage, no pushovers on it, right? There is always a chance that they also pick up that map. Minute 25 on the clock. NiP starting the round off very slowly indeed. Nades over the top. Just again, NiP sending the feelers out later on into the round. It does feel like they have a decent chance at snatching this one away, just because OG have gone very cheeky on the bonus. Not a single M4 in play, which is quite rare to see, to be honest, especially surrounded by 4 MP9s here. So the range capabilities of OG really are going to drop off in some of these fights, but we'll see. They're trying to play around that fact. Nice little long smoke to make life awkward. However, they go bursting through it on the NiP side, because of course they do. Ugali gets caught off just on Keto. Nothing he can find. They may as well give it a go with these MP9s, but I think with it being Inferno and all that futility element that comes in, they will just take the save. It's tough. It's tough, especially when we pointed to him as one of the players as being more questionable. Definitely not weaker, but in terms of his level of consistency, he has been difficult to predict. So there you go. He proves us wrong. He's comfortable on this map. But yeah, it does happen. And I think it's just a testament to maybe indeed they're setting him up to find many kills, and then they just can't back the man necessarily. Really is quiet in a round like this. NiP are once again waiting to figure themselves out before they fully commit to their move. It is much safer than I think we're expecting them to play. Certainly looks that way. It's all about the efficacy of it. Molotov towards Pit starts to confirm the fact. Decent nade there out towards Long will soften them up, and they go back first into the bomb site. Config with a nice trade. Has to rely on the boys to clear out the site itself, and Headtrick will do so in the nick of time. Config to hold the line on the rotation. Regali at T-ramp. There ain't no way he's getting involved in this one. So NiP are starting to pick up some steam here on the T side of things. Better late than never, but you never know what they can turn this into. And it is just consolation rounds at the moment. We're still believing in the OG train. However, we've not seen an OG rifle get picked up yet. So the longer this streak from NiP continues, the more worried we will, of course, get. It's the way to do it, though, getting proactive, and you can see, found that first frag, now he's immediately moved to a different part of the map. Keep the CTs guessing at the end of the day. I definitely am a big fan of this approach. Time going to tell. Time definitely going to tell on this one whether they can pull it off. But I think NiP are a bit timid, right? They drop that first frag. They don't quite know what the buy looks like around it. OG have got rounds to go for something kind of wacky, right? They may well pull out something unexpected. So it certainly is a hard round to deal with here for NiP. But as they start to move in, they'll discover they made the right decision, and they have guessed, in a sense, the correct bomb site here. Timeout being taken. They've got time and rounds and indeed actual timeouts themselves to really work with here. So I can definitely get behind it at this point in time. Pretty effective stuff from the NiP boys. And yeah, I think Koji are kind of feeling it, that it's like, right, we're not really in a good spot at the moment. We have to pick up the game here. Maybe even stack a couple on top of each other, but they're not going to go that deep into the timeouts just yet. It's tough, though. You get yourself in this cycle on the CT side of buy, eco, and you just get stuck in a rut for sure. So the timeout, I think, will be a nice change in that sense. Not looking good. And yeah, again, it is just that beautiful term that we love using of the eye test. The way that the rounds are developing means OG at the moment are getting a taste of their own medicine, right? They're really, really stuck in a rut. And very problematic indeed. Not spotting too much that we like from this so far. I think they are just falling apart at the seams, and it's getting dangerous. You may well as well. You find a 10-5 half, you get up to 12-5, really clean scoreline, and you think in the back of your mind that it's like, okay, we've done the hard stuff. Now the game should come alongside it, and even just thinking that for a second can throw you off your game. That's definitely what's happening here. Being taken off the ball by OG, and this gap has closed exponentially and so fast as well. It almost seems like OG are finding more success in these weird half-buy rounds than they are in the full buys. So take some of the logic and apply it to the actual rifle rounds. But yeah, this could get a little weird. One of the deagles comes off. And all of a sudden, oh, round might be over. Nexa walks into the business end of an AK, though. Big frag to net. There's Fiku. Okay, this is a bit problematic. Config's got another player in pit to deal with as well. They're on difficult angles here. Headtrick going to swap across to the AK. Fiku takes some damage out from the molly. Config will find his man. Fiku is missing shots. Config deals with him. They've weathered the storm. They've certainly lost a few crew members, but they will survive the round. Most certainly is. FASHR making a lot of noise here. They're going to go through, but Brollan is so ready. Oh, and for the second man as well, Nexa, I think, was partially blinded. It has an effect on him finding the trade frag. Fiku desperately trying to claw one together. Absolutely doesn't happen. Not a single point of damage done. They've expended 3 players with aggressive moves and not bad flashbangs. This is a great flashbang. Vito needed that third. It will not come off. Regali remains alone, and they know that he's around here because he was the one that threw that flash more likely than not. The bomb is in an awkward spot. The smokes are beginning to dissipate, but it should be a cleanup for NiP. It's crazy. It is crazy the way that this has dropped off, and we've not seen them find even one rifle round. And arguably not even come close. So mine does indeed boggle with how this second half has panned out, but NiP are putting on a masterclass on the T side, that's for damn sure. After OG put on a masterclass of their own, so we're getting a great game of Counter-Strike here, folks. Just a question of who comes out on top. Would be lovely for NiP if they can snipe away their opponent's map pick. Yeah, and a tied game real fast as well, as we've been mentioning. It just looks so simple for NiP. it's beautiful. It is beautiful to see, right? An absolutely fantastic showing from them thus far. Question of how long it will continue and whether that scoreline at the top that evened up 12-12 will put the fear of God perhaps into OG. Finally, we might see them wake up, but that's a question for another day. This round comes off simply, not dropping a single player. We will look to finish things off swiftly with the backbreaker. This has been an absolutely incredible second half. I mean, it's so difficult because rounds-wise, there's not been all too many flashy plays. We've had a few individual moments. It just seems like the NiP unit is incredibly well-oiled at the moment. Be dangerous right here. Oh, in for one. Keto traded out quite quickly, though. It's the long players who have to go large and Fiku stays alive. Brilliant frag. Man advantage situation. Short-lived, but it's bought time for the rotations to come in. Who will be the hero here? The retake is so hard, man. In on this A bomb site. Once that Moto smoke comes down, you may have all the confidence in the world, but it's not going to be enough. And they know it. The closest it feels like they've come in a long time, but they still have to go tail between legs back away to the B bomb site. 13 rounds for NiP. A solid 8 in a row right here for them. Hard call, man. It is a really hard call, right? You're in this situation right at the tail end of the game. Are we playing it safe? Are we playing it conventional? Are we taking risks? It's difficult to know. There is no right answer. There is no right answer, I think, is the thing. So, whatever suits you. Kitso has gone overlooked. Got his hands onto an AK. The man down below, and he picks him off. Oh, what a moment from Keto. Regali to pick up config. Here we go. OG showing signs of life. They have a few more to get through. One of them is Brollan, and he seems angry. First frag comes off for him. Backing away for now. Or is there left to do here? The bomb is in the hands of the monster in pit. Rotations are on the way. Looks very good for OG. Brollan tries to spin around, can't get it done, and Fiku very well played on the patience there to just work around his teammates. Yeah, I think so. Heard a few ticks in the chat. So it definitely does seem like it's going to be case here. Get it rolled back. Little shame that it does happen at such a high octane mode for everyone involved, you know, us, them, and you guys at home, of course. Wherever you may be. You might be at work at this time watching the game on the second monitor, although more people working from home. You know, some people got like 2 full-time jobs working from home. That's crazy. That one the other day. There's a few people. The hustlers, you know, the grind set gamers. So makes sense. Just get 2 of the same. I'd be somewhere in your contract that you can't do that, but Inferno T-sided. Maybe it definitely is in like NA and stuff, isn't it? So, and it is in our series, that's for sure. So we're all back. It seems maybe someone on the NiP side is having the issues. No one's brought up over there, so we'll see what the issue is. Try and fill you in when we can. We're a little in the dark also. But yeah, we'll find out if we can.
So yeah, hopefully we're not here too long. Be a shame. And sounds like we're getting back into game soon, so wasn't too bad. And yeah, here for the Counter-Strike. Let's get it going again.
There we go, baby. All right. We are indeed looking to get back into the action here, folks. Not too long of a break at all, which is all good. But yeah, just an inopportune moment, right, when both teams were looking comfortable and ready to go. We're super close towards the tail end, and it just doesn't come off. So, very unfortunate, but this is sometimes a part of it when you're playing online, and especially as a pro player, you do need to be somewhat prepared for those types of moments. Either way, banana control being wrestled for at the start of our follow-up round.
It's great out for mid-controller NiP. Players in apartments, they might go for an early apps pop here, you know. Players rooting towards boiler instead. The bomb is here. Maybe they're waiting for more confirmation. There's not a lot going on banana, which will potentially dissuade them here. Long smoke is down. More nades are set to be lined up. Could be a set play. There's 3 in defense here, and OG have a pretty good setup on the side. They can get any nades down front side. This could look even better. With that kill from Fiku, this can be a tough hit.
Good. Brollan to entry in. Regali, though, out with the trade. 4 versus 3. 2 in towards pit. They've got to take out the player on site, and they do so. Really well done from NiP to just scale into the bomb site. Nice and smooth. Not rushing in. Speaking of rushes, though, we've got nexa. Oh, and Hedrick takes a risky hold on the plant, but his teammates got him covered. That could have been a disaster. However, not the case, and now just down to FASHR, who feels confident to stick around. Certainly not the easiest re-entry into this bomb site. He seems to fancy his chances. Nice little Molotov pushes Hedrick out of position. Smoke to give him some space to work with and get him on towards that bomb. However, Rez is in the perfect spot. Molotov goes down, tap onto the bomb. Rez can still take the peek and see that he's not on it. No time for the defuse to come off. FASHR with a nice attempt in the 1v2. You have to hand it to him. However, it will not happen for him, and that will be a 14th for NiP.
This game has taken one heck of a turn. One heck of a turn. OG, because of their loss bonus, getting a lot of buys out here, but is it going to be too little too late? Freebie start for them. Consider taking some map control. It looks like some nades dropped by Mr. Fiku. Tell about his B players, so see if those curves come into effect later in the round. NiP, as we've seen a lot during this half, tending to favour the slower defaults. Of course, did see more of an A-set play last time, but they're very comfortable playing these slow rounds, and who can blame them? It's just worked so many times during this half.
Wind up. What we are all about. NiP, I think they understand the position that they're in, and you know how maybe lucky they have been in a sense that things have gone so very well for them in the past few. Really, really cool to see, of course, that they're able to bounce back in such a fashion, but it's still incredibly tense, still incredibly close, and you do not want to give OG an inch here to just start to believe. Secure that 15th. Give yourself some breathing room. What this is all about now.
Regali tucking himself in. He's lucky, actually, the first player this one wasn't facing. Player gets out long, but it doesn't matter. The crossfire is too good. Way too good. And head trick, given the time, is going to have to save. We are going the distance. 30 rounds now guaranteed. And OG, after a lot of troublesome site defenses, including this A site, finally mount a good one. And those crossfires are perfect.
All right. Let's see whether they can keep that consistency coming, whether they can keep that rolling, sir. That's my big question. Time will indeed tell, but for now, OG staying alive and convincing themselves at the tail end where, you know, it has been a really, really rough half, you have to say. They are convincing themselves they can indeed close out rounds, and they are called upon. NiP, of course, struggling for the cash ever so slightly. I thought they'd have a bit more. So this 30th round could get very interesting if OG pick up number 29. Very tentative here, and all on a knife edge. Oh, as always, Brollan going to burn ever so slightly. He was quite close to that fire, even in the corner. A risky way of getting away from it, but confident enough that it wasn't going to spread to him.
Flashes through. Molly is so annoying, but Brollan's up over second. OG lose a player immediately. They might really consider saving here, Scriv, if they can't get a kill through these smokes. If they lose these guns, they're in a very awkward position. And look at number 6, Mr. Fiku, way off. Nexa sticking around, but his teammates have already pulled the ripcord. NiP, after being down and out for the count, now have a map point on their opponent's map pick. This is unthinkable from where we were 25 minutes ago.
Yeah. It's wild. It is absolutely wild. And a hell of a commendment has to be given to NiP here on how they have managed to pull this off. And it's only recently that they started dropping rounds. It's only recently that OG have woken up again, I suppose. Really effective. Really damn effective. And I'm just totally here for it. Again, there's not been too much flashiness, a few very nice setups, and just some really great executes coming out from NiP.
Yeah, I think mean, not in a bad way, but I'm not sure they've done anything like, you know, you consider out of the ordinary on this half. Plays down to Counter-Strike. They have good players. They clearly have the potential to communicate well at times and you know, work together for that map control or have clean executes. And certainly that's been enough on this second half. Bit of pace injected in Banana from OG as they want to take a fight. Regali on the head of his teammate just wants an opportunity here down Banana, but it's not being presented just yet. Brollan, man tasked with fighting it, playing behind the smoke, and Brollan gets the kill on Regali. That's a disaster start in a must-win round, clearly for OG. Man advantage NiP as they creep ever so close now to snatching away their opponent's map pick from the literal jaws of defeat.
One more round. OG, meanwhile, they need an absolute hero here. They need somebody to pop off big style. And that, when the pressure is on, when your back's up against the wall, that is way easier said than done. FASHR, though, will take out hampus. Nexa trying to help his man out. There's an M4 in for FASHR to work with. A little interesting kind of tidbit for the two of them. Nexa's going to take out Brollan. This B hold looking good so far. Fantastic nade pulled off to continue the damage coming. What can NiP get done? Flash goes in for them. Rotations on the way now as well. They are on a timer. 30 seconds left on the round timer itself. Gets in aggressive. Down goes FASHR. Nexa gets a flash round. Can't find the double kill he was looking for, but surely he's been set up here. Config with 20 HP. Can't get anything done. And we are headed to overtime. Oh my goodness gracious. What a surprise that we end up here as OG also, in a way, they had checked out. They had turned off, but they managed to bring the heat at the very last moment of the game.
Yeah, we often see it as soon as we get into overtime. It's a bit of a kind of reset switch, isn't it? So I hope for OG's sake that they can just calm down again. Maybe it was being so far ahead that it got inside their own heads. A bit of a young team, disparate parts. And of course, the current rule set, there's no break, no let up, straight into overtime. And look at Fiku. We didn't see this at all during regulation. Where has this aggression come from?
It is a fantastic question. Regali and Fiku will manage to find themselves a couple of openers to start the round off. Just Brollan and Headtrick then. And yeah, you may well be onto something, sir, that it is a pretty clean start. And indeed, the confidence has returned for these players. However, round is not fully secured just yet. Round the corner is going to start to hammer it home. Headtrick alone. The young gun, he's been playing damn well. 25 and 12 is a hell of a scoreline to put up. Especially in a game that's had so many saves. But what can he get done here? 1, 2, and now just a third required. All right, we are on for a hell of a clutch.
God, he's got all the nades in the world. Where does he put it on new box? Creeps and crawls his way in. Is there a gap around the side of the smoke? I don't think there was. Headtrick tucks himself into dark. And time will become a factor soon. Headtrick, bit of a jiggle. Peeks wide. Head found. What a performance! Headtrick, the young gun. Massive work. NiP back in the lead.
Uh-oh. That is also a really difficult one to stomach if you are OG, right? You're in such a good spot coming into the first round of the overtime. Always a bit stressful. Finding that first round can be pretty important. And they can't convert it. They can't convert it. And you really don't have a lot of time to bounce back. Again, as you said, especially in the new rule set, you know, all the emotions are going to be flying high in this one. But you always have plenty of cash to keep on going, even on the CT side, to keep the aggression up and hopefully keep forcing some fights. They tried to go for the boost up. BQ from the other side. He finds one, but it's Nexa with 2, a nade and some bullets to back it. Should be all good. Nexa keeps his crosshair true, leaving it all down to Rez with just 19 points of HP.
That's a good way to start. It's FASHR going to come through the smoke? He's going to sit in towards Moto. The bomb is out mid, so it's almost bizarre that these players are going to meet. Oh, Moto, no way. No way! What is happening? NiP with the craziest of clutches now in overtime. And OG can't believe what's happening. I'm sure of it. How are we even in overtime, and how are we losing these rounds?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy, and it just continues to stack and stack and stack. It must be awful in this situation right now, what they're feeling, what they're doing, how they are responding. It is so difficult. So difficult to stomach here, Alan.
OG, you've got to get a round out of this half. It would be 3 in the row is just such a tall order. Just going to sit back on their nades for now. Very passive stance on B. The mid pressure out from NiP, and look at that, they're not even scared to go through. So confident it's not a mid stack. Top banana nades from NiP, from OG, but they get extinguished. And for now, OG, just look at the map. They've got all the control they could ever want. They can do whatever they like. And a B hit looks likely with Config on a bit of a lurk.
He loves a good little lurk. Whether he can get out there, whether he can get in behind is, of course, a different question. Utility over the top once again. A B hit to come round. OG are very ready. OG are very, very ready with 3 players. They are quickly in here. Molotov goes down. They're going to opt to push through it. Look at all the damage that's being done by their own utility. Meanwhile, hampus rushing the bomb plant. Certainly could be a risk here. He's going to get away with it. There's a smoke over at dark. I don't think it's theirs. They're very aware of the fact that, yeah, there could be a man around. Down he goes. Regali can't really get much done from that position. Next was open as the smoke dissipated. He'd be able to find the frag. Not the case. Config is annoying on the backside. 2 left. It's not enough, is it? It's not enough. Nexa is in the mixer. You don't save in overtime. So they will give it a go, but not a single kill comes off. 18-15 NiP. Looking set to win.
So many chances now. And given the way that second half went, even if NiP 40 minutes ago looked to have problems on the defense, they just don't look like the same team to me anymore. And thinking back to that CT side, maybe they just came in a little bit cold. It was so hard to put your finger on what exactly the problem was, and with the way some of these individuals starting to hit, especially Headtrick, Brollan also has played himself into pretty good form. 3 chances, 3 goodbyes. Good luck, OG. Well, it sounds like we've got a little bit of a break. About 2 minutes. So hopefully when we're back, we can get into the second half of this first overtime.
All right, hello everybody, welcome back in. Very brief little pause there. We weren't entirely sure if they were on an extended issue once again or what. So we took the pause, but we are back into the action now, of course. So thankfully not too much waiting to be done, which is always good, right? And definitely not what we want. Either way, NiP 1 round away from the victory here, Alan.
You wouldn't bet against them now. Absolutely not. Check out the posturing from OG. It feels like an early hit is intended. CT smoke is down. This would be bold to go through. I kind of admire it. But this is a gamble.
Gamble is maybe what you need. Nexa the first to fall. The Molotov splits up the opportunity to find a trade. Not looking too good at all. Brollan will get a flash in to try and make a move here. He finds himself inside of a smoke. Not necessarily what he wanted. FIQ, meanwhile, will get burnt out from pool. Brollan showing himself will go down. But a lot of damage has been done to these remaining 4 players of the OG side. Meanwhile, hampus. Good spot to maybe find a frag. Flash has to come in to allow some of these players to cross. It's a mess. It really is a mess. FIQ goes down with the bomb. Another one for hampus. Another 2 for hampus. All on Keto. They know where he's at. They've got the bomb. He's only got 40 seconds to pull it off.
It's just so much to deal with. Already low. Config is in from behind. NiP situation to lose, and they won't. What a recovery. That was impressive. They had some good maps yesterday where they got themselves back into the game, but I mean, I kind of can't believe it. Even if you run the numbers, it's got to be less than 5% chance or something they're going to win from that sort of position. So credit to NiP, and